Hi, welcome to Chapter 4 and listening from the Interpersonal Communication book by DeVito. I just wanted to go over a real quick concept that your book covers, and that's the styles of listening. So up here I've written the continuums that the first two styles can be viewed as. And so the first one is empathetic listening. There are times when we need to understand the feelings and feel what the speaker is saying. And so we need to really key in on how do they feel, how would I feel, and offer that support to them. At other times on the continuum of listening in any given situation, we may need to be objective. So therefore, if my son comes home and says, everybody hates me, I don't have any friends, there's a part of me that needs to listen empathetically and find out, okay, what are the feelings behind that? Why does he feel this way? But also, I need to be objective in knowing that, well, that's probably not true. Not everybody hates you. So it would be important for me to do both while I'm listening to him. I do need to feel his thoughts and feelings, but I do need to maybe play that devil's advocate and be objective as well. The next category would be non-judgmental and critical. When I'm lecturing in this class, I hope that you do critically listen and you try to make sense of what I'm saying so that you can better understand the material. At other times, you may need to be non-judgmental though. If your husband comes home and he's telling you he's having a hard time doing the new task that he's been assigned at work, you probably shouldn't judge him and say, well, why can't you do the tasks? Or critically evaluate why he can't do the task. That would be very frustrating to him. What he would rather you do is not judge him, listen, and maybe provide just some basic support. There's two other categories, and I have to erase these so that you can see them here. But the next category is we've got surface listening and depth listening. So there are times in listening situations where all we need to do is understand what's at the surface. So if somebody comes home and says, hey, I had a great day at work, that's surface listening. They had a great day at work. Now, if you were doing in-depth listening and they said, I had a great day at work, and they begin to unfold the different things that happened that contributed to them having a good day at work, well, you would maybe need to do some more depth listening and figure out, well, why does that matter to him? Or how could I possibly help him understand different aspects of himself by how that played out to be a good day? Or maybe I could even listen in depth and try to figure out, well, what things have you done to be responsible for some of your good days? Because you've been making some positive strides in communication or in understanding your role more clearly, anything that could possibly get you in depth. Somebody says, please pass the ketchup, surface listening. I would like to talk to you about how I'm feeling about my father's passing. That's more in-depth listening. And then the final category, which we could also put on one of these continuums, is active listening and inactive listening. There are times when active listening is very, very important. And there's a couple of things that we do to be active listeners. The first thing that we do is paraphrase, and that is put into our own words what we believe the speaker is feeling or saying, and that's important to kind of check back with them. It's actually a form of perception checking, and perception being from chapter 3, you already know how important it is to do that perception checking. So the first thing we have to do is paraphrase. The second thing that we need to do if we're active listening is actually ask questions, because that's going to be important. And then the last thing is, after we paraphrase, it's important to express an understanding of the speaker's feeling. So you're feeling left out because you weren't considered for that promotion would be helpful in that speaker exploring their feelings and understanding why they're feeling the way they are at times. The other side of this is inactive listening. There may be times when I'm inactive listening to maybe one of my husband's friends who's telling him a story. It's not really meant for me, and I may be listening, but I'm not going to ask questions or be involved, and that type of listening is probably fine right then, because my husband's friend only wants him to understand the story and only wants him to respond to the story, not me. But I may want to get some tidbits from it just because it's an interesting story. But inactive listening would be okay. Most of our interpersonal relationships require active listening. We can see success and benefit from actively listening, and that should be our goal whenever somebody's sharing feelings or things that are personal to them. So hopefully that's helped you look at those 4 different styles of listening, and that should help you complete some of the activities that we have for this week, and hopefully see you again, Chapter 5. Have a great week.